Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks, A Better You Lifestyle. Back for another season. We start this year, we're starting off in October and we're going to go to the end of 2023, which will be December. We took a break. There was a lot going on with the pandemic. We kept taking breaks throughout that period. And we had a few things going on with our social media, so we weren't able to produce the show. But now we are back, and A Better You Lifestyle is a program all about helping you to create a better lifestyle for yourself, a better lifestyle for you, a better physical, a better personal, and a better financial lifestyle for yourself. I started doing this show and this program about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer. And I decided to do it because I found that the programs that I was doing, which are primarily for young men and young women in schools, middle school to high school, I found that parents also were looking for information about some of the things that I was doing. So what I started to do is I started to do monthly shows on this show, and then I started doing weekly shows, and I just started talking about some of the things to help you create a better lifestyle for yourself. So I want to tell you a little bit about A Better You Lifestyle. A Better You Lifestyle starts out with every first Sunday at 8 o'clock. We do Understanding Your You. And Understanding Your You is all about understanding who you are, where you're trying to go, what your goals are, what your potential is, helping you to discover those things. Because if you don't understand who you are and what your abilities and your potential is, then the rest of the things that you try to set and the goals and things that you set in life will never develop because you haven't discovered what your potential is. And that's what happens with a lot of people. You'll, especially with young people, I'll say to them, so what do you want to do? Or what do you like to do? And the first thing they say is, I don't know. And they know, it's just that a lot of times no one has ever asked them that question. What do you like to do? What do you think about yourself? Where do you want to see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Nobody really asks a child those kind of questions. And for some reason, I don't know why, because you want them to think about their future. So if you never ask them about their future, how do they know that they have a future? How do they know to plan for the future? How do they know to think about the future? Very rarely do you hear anyone asking a child, what do they plan on doing, or where do they see themselves in 2, 5, 10 years, 15 years? And so as a result of that, they don't think about the future. They don't think about goal setting. They don't think about life expectancy, and they don't think about financial literacy and starting a business or having a family, because no one has ever brought those things to their attention. In the programs I do those things with them. I ask them, so where do you see yourself in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years? What would you like to be doing? And a lot of them will say, I don't know. And they don't know. They because no one has ever asked them that question. No one's ever asked them to think about, where do you want to be in life? What kind of life do you want to have for yourself? So for them, they're living day to day, day to day. And so if something goes wrong in that day or in that week, they're dwelling on it, and they're having these issues because in their mindset, it's a horrific situation, not thinking that, this was just today and tomorrow is another day, or maybe next week will be better, or next year will be better, or 2 years from now will be better, and I can have or set some goals and things like that. So the problem is that they don't think about the future because no one has ever asked them how they feel about the future. And a lot of young people that I've talked to at different times have been in situations where they've even stated that they don't think about the future because they don't think they have a future. And depending on what environments they growing up in, they don't think that they're going to live to see the future. You have people right now that think 25 or 30 years old is old. They think that's old because in their mindset, most of their friends and people that they know have died in their early 20s. Their teens in their 20s. You got teenagers dying out there. You got people in their 20s dying out there. So when you You say, well, where do you see yourself in 20 years when you get 30 years old? They don't think about that because they don't see themselves turning 30 years old. They don't see themselves turning 25 years old. We have to work with our young people. But in order to work with our young people, we have to set the examples that they need to see. So that means we have to work on ourselves first. So that's why we do understanding your you. So I want to get back into our what we do every week, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get into what I want to talk about tonight. I'm not going to keep you too long, but I'm going to keep you long. So our first week is understanding your you, and that's what I just talked about. Our second week of every month is a mother's love. And a mother's love is just what I was just talking about with understanding your you, is all about how we can help our young people to become successful, how to think about their futures, how to make them realize that they do have a future. And the future is beyond their teen years or their 20 years, but can be into their 30s and their 40s and 50s. Like I said, they think 30 is old. Some kids think 25 is old because they don't see people that they know reaching those ages. So a mother's love is all about how we can work with our young people to help them to become successful in life, help them to set goals and achieve goals and do the things that they need to do to live a better life for themselves. And I mean, we go from anywhere from physical, personal, financial development, financial literacy, savings, entrepreneurship, how to start your own businesses. All these kind of things are giving young people hope. When you show them how they can take skills and abilities that they have and start a business, or use that skill and ability to start some type of opportunity where they can make money doing the things and not have to turn to the streets, not have to turn to crime, not have to turn to things that will end up putting them into the justice system on the wrong side of the justice system. So that's what a mother's love is. A mother's love is all about how we can work with our young people to help them to be successful. Our third week is financially you, and financially you is just that, all about how to help you to become as financially fit and financially literate as possible. And we do that through we come out, we have different speakers come on to the show. We're gonna have some speakers come on this year. We got a lot of things going on with our financially you, and then our fourth week is making your house your home. And making your house your home is all about real estate, how to, as a homeowner, as a renter, as a landlord, how to make that property yours and not a headache. You know, a lot of times people, have real estate, or they don't want to get involved in real estate, or they don't even want to own their own home because they hear that it's a headache. So making your house your home is something that we talk about every fourth week of the month. And I used to be in real estate. I had over 20 houses in the city of Buffalo, New York. I owned over 20 houses. I owned a office building. I've owned several, different pieces of real estate. And I got out of it because I was doing so many other things that I just didn't have time to manage those properties. And after a while, I didn't want to be in the management part of real estate anymore. So I sold all my properties. But the thing is, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a registered apartment manager. I have various inspection certifications and trainings and licenses and all kind of stuff and inspections and evaluations and property evaluations and consulting. So I do know my way around real estate pretty much. So we talk about that on the fourth month of every month. So tonight, I just wanted to share with you guys, just a little bit about understanding your you, because that's what it's all about tonight, is understanding your you. But before we go into that, I wanted to recognize and show appreciation. I don't know if people have been on my page, because my page gets shut down a lot. I get put in Facebook jail for some of the most silly reasons that they want to put me in Facebook jail for. So we were put in Facebook jail, but fortunately for October, we're back. And for October, we're not only doing our show again for the first time in a while, we're also kicking off the celebration of Beautiful Black Women Month. Beautiful Black Women Month. And people might say, well, where'd that come from? And people who know me know that I've been doing this celebration for close to about 5-6 years. I've been doing this celebration. And a beautiful black women, that whole concept and idea came about through a series of articles I was watching and reading, and I kept seeing how they were recognizing the color black, and they were recognizing famous black women in these various articles that I was reading. And so I was reading the articles, and they were talking about these famous black women, and they were talking about the color black and how you should be proud of that color. And I mean, they were just doing things. So they showed like a Black Panther, then they would show black women, beautiful black women. And when I saw that, I said, beautiful black women. I said, wow, I was looking at the women that they were showing, but they were all actresses and models and and all these kind of different things. And then I said to myself, I said, well, I know some beautiful black women. I know myself that I know some beautiful black women. I know people out there that know some beautiful black women. So what I decided to do was, I said, instead of recognizing these people that I may know from television, but I don't personally know or had a contact or relationship or interactions with on social media or anything like that, why not recognize those beautiful black women? And so that's what I started doing. And I started that about 5 or 6 years. I started doing celebration of beautiful black women. And I mean, like I said, I've met people over the years, and it's not just current beautiful black women that I've known. I try to recognize women that I've met years, over years. And so I put up pictures of them, and I put up pictures with us together sometimes, because I'm going to different events, and I'll run into people that I know. So we'll take pictures together, and then I'll post those up as part of Beautiful Black Women Month. And so that's how that came about. And it's all about celebrating the black women in our community, and the black women in our lives, and the black women that we know, and the black women who normally or may not rarely may get recognition for themselves, or sometimes may not even consider themselves to be beautiful. They might say, I'm all right. But, in our eyes, we have to recognize and say to our women that you are beautiful, and that's what this was all about. This is why this was created, because I wanted to recognize all the beautiful black women that I've met and come across in the number of years that I've been around. And so some women really, really enjoy it. They look forward to it when I do it. I've actually had some women say, well, no, take me off of there. I don't want to be on there. And then I take them off. It's not something to, that I don't get upset about it. Some people don't want to be recognized, and that's their prerogative, but the fact that I just gave them that recognition shows that I appreciate their beauty as a beautiful black woman, and just that they should be celebrated. So I don't take offense to it. And I've even did an announcement this year that if you didn't want to be recognized, to let me know, and I won't put you on there, because I have hundreds, hundreds of pictures of people who I've met throughout the years of, just being alive, that I'll put it on there. And sometimes people don't want to be on there, for whatever reason. So I try to respect their wishes, and I don't put them on, and I take their pictures off. So that's what Beautiful Black Women is all about. Celebration of beautiful black women. And that started on October the 1st, and it goes normally about 2 to 3 weeks. Depends on how many pictures I have, because right now I have quite a few. So I've been putting up a couple pictures every day for the last 2 days. And I'll put up like a couple pictures each day, and just celebrating and recognizing beautiful black women. And that's what it's all about. So again, understanding your you. Again, that's what that's all about. Understanding who the people are that are in your life and why they're in your life. So what we do with understanding your you is we start out with self-awareness. Thinking about, who am I? What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I like to eat? What do I like to go? What do I like to read? Do I like to read? What kind of music do I listen to? Do I like to travel? Understanding your you. Where do I see myself in a year? Where do I see myself in 2 years? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Where do I see myself in 10 years? Where all these things, the same things that I was talking about earlier that we do with young people, we should be doing with ourselves. Understanding who we are. Self-awareness is so important. If you don't understand who you are, how can you ever truly be in a relationship and say, I want somebody who's going to be in a relationship with me when you don't even understand what it takes to be in a relationship with you because you don't understand who you are. You don't understand what you have to offer. You understand what you're looking for a person that, may what do they have to offer you, or what benefits or what things are you looking for them to bring to the table so you guys can be compatible? What are you compatible with? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are you do you like to travel? Do you like to, do you have a business? Do you aspire to be an actress? What do you desire? What do you desire in life? Self-awareness is so important. And that was something that, I've always kind of been self-aware to myself in different aspects. So when a person always asked me what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be, I kind of always knew what I wanted to do. And that was because I had a stepfather that came into my life when I was 10 years old. And he gave me a vision of him in his real estate and being an entrepreneur. He was with his brothers and they were all partners in a car dealership. And they also ran a bar. One of my uncles, he ran a bar. And then, like I said, they had a car dealership. And then my stepfather himself, he owned a bunch of real estate. And he was the one who introduced me to real estate. So I knew at the early age of 9 or 10 years old, sort of where I wanted to be in life and what I wanted to go in life. And it was to emulate him and the things he was doing, because as a young kid, I was always out working, trying to make money. And he saw that. He saw me selling newspapers. He saw me selling fruit at a fruit stand. He saw me out washing cars. He always saw me doing things to make money, but it was never anything illegal. I was never robbing or stealing or, anything like that, because my biggest fear was I did not want to go to jail. But my mother said to me, if you go to jail, I'm not coming to get you out, because she saw sometimes some of the friends I was hanging around, and that was the path that they were headed to. That's the path that they were heading down. And she said, if you go to jail, I'm not coming to get you out. So that was always in the back of my mind, that I better not do anything that's going to get me put in jail, because I'll be stuck in there because my mother not coming to get me out. And so as a result of that, my stepfather had a great influence on me, and he really helped me to be able to live the life that I live now. Because again, I used to own up to almost 20 properties in the city of Buffalo, commercial buildings and real estate and all those kind of things. And so it really taught me how to be an entrepreneur, how to, and one of the things he told me, he said, I want you to go to college and get a degree. So this way, if the real estate doesn't work out, you'll still have something to fall back on. And he wasn't saying that just to say, go to college. He saw that in me at a young age, that I was smart, that I knew how to do schoolwork. I was getting suspended and kicked out of school. And that's one thing he said, you get kicked out of school, I'm not helping you. I'm not going to teach you. And I kept getting kicked out of school and getting in trouble. And so that really caused me to kind of calm down and focus on being able to learn what I need to learn and get out of school. So that way I could buy real estate and be like him. And he died a year before I bought my first property. But by that time, it was already instilled in me to buy real estate. So that's what I end up doing. So self-aware is very, very, very important. And then goal setting. I always talk about goal setting because, again, we don't set goals. We don't think about our future. We don't understand who we are. And then we don't set goals, because we don't set goals because we don't understand who we are and what our potential is to be able to set and achieve those goals. So I always tell people, I said, goal setting starts with the 4 W's to a successful life. And this is something, again, that I use in my programs. And the book that you see behind me here, the blue book, is No Dream is Impossible. And that No Dream is Impossible, that's all about the 4 W's to a successful life, showing you how to create a better life and a better opportunity for yourself by setting goals and how to set and achieve those goals. And the 4 W's to a successful life is the key to that. And that's something that I use in all my trainings and programs. And it's the 4 W's: understanding who you are, which again, self-awareness. We just talked about that. Understanding who you are. Understanding who you are, that's your first W. Where are you trying to go? So we're setting goals, self-awareness, and where are you trying to go? What is it going to take for you to get there? And then the last W is why are you willing to commit to that goal? And when you use that theory, those 4 W's in any goal that you set in life, you'll find that you will be 95% more efficient in setting and achieving goals in life, because now you have that roadmap to becoming successful, because now you have a way to focus. But it all starts with understanding who you are and what your potential is. And until you do that, nothing else is possible. No dream will ever be possible, because you won't be able to set those goals to achieve those dreams. So that's where the goal setting comes in. And then one of the things I always talk about, and this is something I rarely talk about on the show, I'm involved in a couple of groups, and I've been a part of several groups in the past couple of years. And it's through the mastermind groups through the National Speakers Association, which I'm a member of, the National Speakers Association. And we have a group, the Black NSA organization, and they have these Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Wealth mastermind sessions, and they go periodically. As a matter of fact, I just joined another one. We just started. We're going into the 3rd week of the sessions, because we just did our first 2 sessions. I missed the last session, but Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. If you've never read that book, then you have denied yourself the opportunity to really understand who you are and what your potential is. Almost 80% of all wealthy people have read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it's not a difficult book to read, but it's a book that applies a lot of theories and a lot of thought that makes you have to get yourself together, basically. It makes you work on yourself. And by using the Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich mindset and the principles, the 13 principles of that book, it really helps you to overcome some of the obstacles that normally people who aren't wealthy run into. And the reason why they aren't wealthy is because they allow certain things to get them discouraged, and they give up on their goals. Now, this is a sample of the book. This is one version of the book. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I'm sorry. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. This is one version of the book. And this one actually was given to me by a gentleman by the name of Satish Verman. And Satish Verman is he runs the Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich Institute. And I met Satish several years ago, and he and I became good friends. And he and his wife and my ex-wife, we got together and went out to dinner. And he actually signed this book and gave it to me. And it was because he saw that I was very involved in learning about Napoleon Hill and the Think and Grow Rich principles, and the 13 principles of that theory. And so he and I got together. And as a matter of fact, I have to call Satish. We just connected again last week, but he was out of town, and he contacted me and told me he was back. And I was saying that I need to get in touch with him because we're both very busy. He's traveling around the world and around the country, promoting the Think and Grow Rich Institute and the theory of Napoleon Hill, the principles of Napoleon Hill. So if you have a book or get a book, and there's different versions of the book, but they're basically all the same as far as the principles that are put into the book. You can also, for what I do at sometimes, and when I'm driving, I listen to the audio book or audio tapes or whatever you want to call it, and I listen to it in the audio. So this way, while I'm driving, it helps me to recreate the mindset that Napoleon Hill was encouraging and implementing in his principles. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, something that's very, very, very important and very vital to your development in financial. And it's not a money book. It's not like, you're going to get rich, you're not going to get rich, you're going to do this, it's all about getting the mindset to be rich, to be wealthy. And I tell my youth all the time, I don't want any of you to be rich. I want you all to be wealthy. And then we go into what the difference is between being rich and being wealthy. And once they understand that, their mindsets change, because most of them say in the beginning that they want to be rich. But they say that because they see people on television, and they see actors and basketball players and all these people and these rappers and things, and they say, oh, they're rich. I want to be like them. I want to rap and be rich. I want to play basketball and be rich. I want to play football and be rich. But it's not rich that helps you to be successful in life. It's creating wealth. That's what helps you to be successful in life. So we go into that, and we show young people how to be wealthy. Again, I talked about a mother's love, and a mother's love is something that, like I said, that's something that we do on the second week of every month. And so I actually have a new book that's coming out. It actually supposed to have been out in September, but I got caught up because we just started a business networking reception that we do every third Tuesday of the month. And we just started this month, September. We just had our first event, and we had the mayor of Niagara Falls. We had the CFO of a major university here come out and talk to the people and share some of the exciting things that are taking place in Niagara County. And they came in and shared with the business owners and the people that were in the networking reception. So we're going to be doing this every third Tuesday of every month. And it's going to be at what is called the Trek Center, which is 616 Niagara Street in Niagara Falls. That's what it is, 616 Niagara Street in Niagara Falls. And it's called the Trek Center. And it's very simple to find. If you know where the Niagara Falls Casino is, you'll find it because it's right across the street from it. But that's where we hold the receptions. If you'd like to be a part of that, go on to Total Networking Tuesdays on Facebook and join the group. And we post things in there like business opportunities, grants and loans, and upcoming events and different things to help you to grow your business. And that's why we created this platform for Total Networking Tuesdays. And why we do the receptions is because we want to help businesses to grow and develop. So it's all about, again, helping people to create a better lifestyle for themselves. And one of those ways is by networking, by opening opportunities for people to get together with other businesses that may have been in business longer than them, or businesses that people are just trying to start a business, and being able to get together with people that can help them to do those things. So that's what Total Networking Tuesdays is about. But a mother's love, again, was the subject I was just talking about. We have a new book that came out. The workbook's almost done. I've been working on it, but I keep changing up some of the things in the book. But that book is all about teaching parents, teachers, and caregivers how to implement the things that we use in our programs to work with young people to help them to be successful. We cover everything from physical, personal, financial development, hygiene, nutrition, self-awareness, self-esteem, financial literacy, how to save money, all the things that we do in the program. We have information about how to do those things at home in the classroom, how to get students to actively participate in the classroom. That's one of the things that makes my program stand out, is that it shows young people how important it is to use the skills they have to get a better understanding of what education is for them. Not so much to get an education, but what education and what are the benefits of education to them. Because a lot of young people don't understand why they're going to school. They don't see a benefit in going to school. Because again, I talked about it earlier, a lot of them don't see a future for themselves. So if they don't see a future for themselves, why do they feel like they need to get an education if there's no future for them to use it? So that's why we do some things in the program to help them to understand the benefits of education and how that can help them to reach those goals and live a better lifestyle and a longer lifestyle, and set future goals for themselves, and even see that they do have a future and they can be successful with that future. So that's what Mother's Love is all about. And I'm going to talk about that next month. I'm going to show you the cover for it next month. Again, if you're interested in networking, we do every third Tuesday of the month. And this October, we're in October now, we're going to be doing a costume networking reception. You don't have to wear a costume, but it would be nice if you did, just to fit in and hang out and have fun, because that's what it's all about. And so we're going to be doing a costume reception, networking reception on the third Tuesday at 616 Niagara Street in Niagara Falls, New York. And we're inviting everybody out to this event. It's $10 if you pay it online. If you pay it at the door, it's going to be $15, because we really want people to pay it online. So this way we can enjoy the event without having to sit at the door and collect money all night from people, because that's not what it's all about. It's not about collecting money. It's all about networking and bringing businesses together. And so that's why it's only $10. And so a lot of it is funded through A Better You Lifestyle, our nonprofit, which is, again, working with small businesses to help them to grow. We have grants and different things we do to help create those opportunities and programs for people in the community. So that $10 just goes to help us provide the refreshments and things that we do to use the building where we're being located. So again, my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. I'm glad you joined me. I hope if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, put them in the chat. Send me an email message or something and let me know. My email is willieaprice@aol.com. I'm going to give you my AOL and let that fill up. I'm not going to give you my other emails, because a lot of people I give out my email address and people start sending me all kind of spam. So I'm not giving out my business email anymore. So willieaprice@aol.com. You can send me a message there and I will get back to you. But again, it's good to be back. It's great to be back talking about how we can help people to create a better lifestyle for themselves, understanding your you, A Better You Lifestyle. Again, I'm your host, Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, and I'm going to be reaching out to some people to come on the show and be a part of what we're talking about, as well as, going on some other shows throughout the year. This year, I'm going to be pretty active this year. I'm working with some groups in Nigeria. I'm working with some groups in Ohio. I'm working in some groups, different groups all over the country, actually in Canada. And they just opened back up the border. So I'm going to be over in Canada doing some things, actively doing some things in Canada now that the border is open back up. So again, A Better You Lifestyle, understanding your you. I'm your host, Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. You guys have a blessed day. Have a great week. And I will see you next